Hello. Hello. Hi. Today is Friday. What's today's date? It's Friday, June 9th. It's gonna be the last stream for a little bit. Just because next week I'm going to be in LA for E3, which is exciting because I've wanted to go to E3 since I was a little kid. Now I'm going, and I'm going to document. Document? That sounds loftier than it is. I am going to photograph my IGN booth that Lunar Saloon designed. So that's exciting. I'm excited for that. You know, I should probably take my camera around and walk around the block this weekend just so I can get used to taking photos while standing and moving around. So often when I take photos, it's just like of products, so I just set up a delicate little thing on a tabletop somewhere, light it, and shoot it, which I imagine is very different from shooting. Anyway. Anyway, we are going to work on this poster some. I think it's changed a lot since the last time we were looking at it. Let's see if I can find, because I worked on it a lot post-stream and yesterday. Let's see. What did it look like the other day? It looked something like this, only the border was not decorative and it was around the whole thing. I think that's kind of where we left off. What camera am I working with? You would think that I know what kind of camera I have, but I don't. I don't because my dad got it for me as a gift for Christmas last year. And if I had done the purchasing, then I would know exactly what I have. But because it was gifted to me, I don't know. Because I'm a dummy. Hold on. I have a Nikon D3400 digital camera. That's what I have. While we talk and stuff, I'm just going to work on this poster. You all can shout out, questions or anything while I'm working on it. You can see I have a perverse amount of layers at this point. That's just what kind of happens with these things. Let's see, so some things that need immediate addressing are, you can see like this hair blends pretty well. I don't have to worry about that too much. We can look like directly at the layer mask. Oh. And you can see this is a lot of masking on this hair. Nikon, Nikon. I don't really know. Someone knows. Someone at Nikon knows, right? But I don't. I don't know. How are you all today? It's Friday, so some of you must be thinking about what you're going to do this weekend. I don't think I'm going to be doing much. I think I'm going to be storing energy like a squirrel. I'm going to be squirrel energy before E3. Dota 2 launched their like campaign thing, which is pretty cool. I played some of that last night with some friends. It's like from the perspective of it's like like Dota, but it's like a campaign, so it's like Diablo, but it kind of has the pacing of like a World of Warcraft dungeon, or I guess like any MMO dungeon, where there are like groups of mobs, and you kind of have to plan accordingly and approach them. And then there are bosses that have specific mechanics, and you have to watch for things to dodge, all sorts of stuff. It's pretty neat. I think it's cool to see them kind of messing with Dota in that way. So right now I'm just, some of these, this hair bit has like white outlines around it, little like halos. And even though that might be, that might look fine when the photo is on a background, it looks really bad when it's cut out. It makes it look more cut out. So you just kind of soften those edges, get rid of stuff. Well, one thing that I was having a lot of trouble with in this poster in particular was, you see, it's with him being like such a different color than the background. Then I was having trouble getting him to sit kind of in the background naturally. And one thing that I ended up doing that helped a lot was, so I had this like gradient map that like made him all pink, but then I added another one. Let's see. Oh, you can't see, but this, I can click on it and you can see this gradient map is the colors that surround him. And so by putting in some of those colors in choice places around him, I think it made him like around the edges and stuff. It made that it made there be an actual transition from the pink to the blues and greens, which made him look a little more like he was part of the image. I mean, as much as you can make like a surreal thing like this look like it's part of it. How big is this file at this point? 2.5 gigs. Okay. The other thing that's helpful with blending foregrounds and background elements is a layer of noise. So you can see I have this noise layer on here, and so these images are all different resolutions and stuff like that. But when you put a noise layer on all of them, it merges them in a way that, makes it all look like part of the same photo. My words are really good today. Let's see, so you can see these. Yeah, I've carefully placed every square in this. This is just a really elaborate piece of pixel art. You know, that's like part of his hoodie, but I'm just gonna get rid of it to make this transition from hoodie to neck a little more clear. I think this was an earlier version of this, so the masking is not quite as well done. Is this proper scoops? I'm not sure what constitutes as proper scoops here. Ew, I got a gross hard line up there. So you can always option click a layer mask just to see like what just to see it in black and white mode, and sometimes that's helpful to see if you're like missing things, like yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So I was wondering, I was like, is this part of his hair? It's part of the background. It's part of this piece that I had placed in there. I put it back there because I really liked like all this like bright blue. Gave it a lot of depth. But that this black blob being all on his face ain't great. Maybe I'll just clone stamp some of this in here. All of this is like so stylized at this point, as far as being crunched up with levels moves and stuff, that I can be kind of willy-nilly with my clone stamp. Whoa. Nightbot tricks me. I'm like, oh, someone's talking. It's just Nightbot. Ugh, that Black Panther poster is offensive. I just think we have to accept that Marvel has no interest in making decent posters. So the other thing that I did to keep the oh, there's a foreground. So it was like very like pink and blue, but I wanted the Hello, Leah. Welcome. Oh, welcome to the stream. We are making little fine-tuning things on this thing. So I put in this gradient map that's like has some green in it just to make it so that the background isn't just straight blue. But I still need to edit it some, like you like see like here. I don't know how to explain how to edit it, but like that background I think can just be blue and just the edge of this cell can be green. So there's like a lot of little things. Right now I'm stuck on this like gross dark black shape. It's the darkest thing in the composition. And it serves no purpose. So I gotta get rid of it. Let's see. Let's see. Dude is being absorbed. I mean, I guess he kind of is. Let's see. The title typeface, the bullets, they're pretty much just for decoration. The typeface is kind of taking nods from, like, takes place in Kathmandu in South Asia. And so I was like looking at a lot of like signage from that area, and all the signage kind of has these. I don't know how you describe how this typeface looks, but it looks like it belongs in like South Asia. Yeah, I mean, the bullets around the T are part of the original typography. And yeah, I can totally see that that's just filling up negative space because all these other letter forms, some I've kerned to be closer together. But, yeah, otherwise that would just be like weird negative space there, wouldn't it? Man, maybe I think the depth is just fine. Or do you need that to define I think you need that to define the right side of his head. Decisions. I mean, if you make that side darker, that works to... That works to define it. Maybe it's just a contrast issue, whereas right now the contrast and the side of his face is basically the same as the elements behind him. Okay. So let's see if we can just make the side of his face a little darker. Look at that. Look at that. Alright, I think that's better. Hey, Sean. So much of it at this point is just like looking closely and seeing stuff like this line right here, and oh, it's just a bunch of little cleanup. And the thing is, like, none of this stuff is, I haven't named any of these. I guess I can get rid of layers that I've turned off at this point, but I haven't named any of these just because what do you name it? Like bottom cell, top cell. A vignette effect that would light up the face. I don't know. I don't think there's. I think with the face being bright pink and in the middle of the composition, I don't think I need to worry too much about the face getting lost here. Back in the movie poster game, the short film poster game, I guess. This is a guy who is I guess a semi-recent graduate of Savannah College of Art and Design, and I made some posters for him when he was in school. Now he's out of school and he's still making projects, and we enjoy working together. And so that's what we're doing. This top thing here. The most problematic section of his hair was like right here, right hair, but you can see that I just covered it up with a cell. Sometimes the best thing you can do in Photoshop is just cover stuff up. Maybe I need to... Maybe I've taken too much away from here. Yeah, I think I took too much away. So... Andy, Dave, Linda. What's that? What? Why are you just listing names? Booba. Bubbles. Booba. I just named the layers bubbles. Bubble 1, bubble 2. Face bubble, corner bubble, edge bubble. I'm going canoeing tonight. First canoe of the season. That'll be fun. I'll name every bubble layer after Patreon. How's that? It's actually really funny. Can you look into that, Megs? The canoe registration? Yeah, we canoe at night. We set out at like 5 o'clock and canoe across the lakes and have gin and tonics all the while. And then we go and eat dinner somewhere. We dock up, eat dinner, and then canoe back at like 11 o'clock at night. It's pretty fun. Oh, we have to go to the DMV? Oh! Well, then we're never registering the canoe again. It'll be forever unregistered. Yeah, it's usually a fun night. Fun way to spend the night. What body of water are we canoeing through? We canoe here in some of the lakes that are in Minneapolis, because Minneapolis is cool and has lakes like in the urban area. And canoe through the Lake of the Isles region here. There's it's like a chain of 1, 2, 3, 4 lakes. And yeah, it's fun. Nothing like gin and tonics on the water on a nice Minnesota summer. I don't know if I should be messing with this hair over here. I mean, his hair is just kind of ridiculous. In Photoshop, I use Option Command Z, which actually just steps you back through the history. But but it's like the most dangerous thing when you're like when you're jumping from Photoshop to Illustrator to use, because in Illustrator, Option Command Z brings up a revert panel. Like, do you want to revert this to the way it was? And it's like, no, I don't want to revert it. It's always terrifying when it pops up. It's also weird when you make movie posters how much time you spend looking at like the face of a total stranger. And it's like, if they knew, it would be pretty weird, wouldn't it? Maybe not. Maybe they're actors, so their dream is to have a lot of people looking at their face for long periods of time. So maybe it's not weird at all for them. Whoa, concrete canoe, that's neat. So I'm just editing right now the layer mask that's giving some parts of the background this green color, so that it's less blobby and it looks like more intentional. Maybe it's like, this background, and sometimes that green light is thrown onto these cells. Does it float? An important ask of any canoe. Unfortunately, for me to go canoeing, we have to do Meg's least favorite thing in the world, which is get our canoe down from its pulley system in the garage. Thanks, Isabella. Also, hello. Welcome. Well, Megs hates it, full disclosure, because I usually turn into an over-controlling dick whenever we do it. And I'm like, no, you're doing it wrong. No, don't do... Ugh. Fine, I'll do it. I'll do it. So it's me turning into a total asshole that makes Megs not look forward to it. And, really, who can blame her? Yeah, it's because she's a tiny person. And I am not. You would think being in a relationship with someone so small for so long, I would have developed more empathy for small people, but alas. I am 6'1". Megs is, what are you, Megs? 5'4"? 5'3"-ish, yeah. Yes, the world is built for smaller people. I don't like being tall a lot of the time. It's it's less terrible up here in Minnesota because Minnesota was founded by, a bunch of tall ass Vikings, so there's more tall people up here, but when I'm in like crowds and I am the tallest person there, I really hate it cuz I hate being like above everyone. Like it's like too easy for small people like Megs to get lost in crowds, and it's too hard for tall people like me to get lost in crowds. Sometimes I do not. I don't want to be tall. Greater risk of being taller than your shower head, the actual worst. Yes, that is sucky. It happens often. Alright, let's see here. Let's just go ahead and totally turn off this layer mask for the green foreground elements, and I'm just going to go ahead and paint out what I don't want. So you can see here where the edge, like the green, like kind of disappears. So I don't want that green to be on that edge because it'll look bad. Whereas when it's just blue, it blends pretty nicely. I'm also going to change my opacity to be like 6% so I can like really have some control over getting rid of stuff gradually. So how tall are you? How tall is small where you are? How tall is small? just tapping these spots a lot. It's such a low opacity. Oh, okay. There's a conversion issue. A lot of conversion issues between the US and every place else because the US is dumb in so many ways. I don't want to be the world's entertainment. At least I don't want to be living in the country that's the world's entertainment. I want to live in a sane place. We can canoe in urban areas. That is one of the nice parts about where I live, I guess. Can't do that everywhere in the U.S. Most places in the U.S. you cannot do that, but I appreciate that I can do it here. One of the many reasons that I choose to live in Minneapolis. The other thing I'll have to consider for this is we'll eventually have to make a horizontal version for Vimeo stuff. I imagine you just crop it in on his face and move the type to the right. I agree, Leah. I think that the foot is like there needs to be something smaller than a meter. Let's see. We're coming up on an hour. I think I'll be done soon. Not done with the poster per se, but done with streaming. Forever. Not forever. I have to go get new jeans. Megs and I have to make the dreaded trip to a store to get jeans. Excuse me. Hi, Justin. What am I doing? Oh, I'm not even affecting anything on this layer. Derp. Okay. Paint in some more green there. Paint out some green. Nope, still painting it in. Okay, so let's take a screen grab of this and see if I've actually made some forward momentum or if I'm just spinning my wheels here. Well, we definitely come a long way since where I was kind of where I started yesterday. Let's see. I think that's kind of where I was at the beginning of today. Yeah, I'm going to say that's an improvement. There's more subtlety in the transitions from green to blue and whatnot. I'm going to call that an improvement. Let's see, he gave me some feedback that I needed to change someone's name in the billing block. What was that? Whose name do I need to change? This dude has a strong jawline. He's like Paul Walker meets Chris Pine. Let's see. Whose name did he want me to change? James to Jameson. James to Jameson. Where's James? James. There's only one James. Jameson. Whoops, not Jane Sib. Jameson. Okay, so all of that, I like this typeface that I got for the billing block, but all the kerning is absolutely terrible. So, like, there is a space right here. And no, that is not an acceptable space. That is not acceptable. That is bad. So, I am not going to kern this stuff. 1, 2. I'm just gonna put spaces in between it and see how that works. 1, 2, 3. God, I'm gonna have to kern the shit out of this type. So 2 spaces on these things looks about the equivalent of 1 space. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Maybe 2 spaces is too much. This is what happens when you don't use fonts from like My Fonts or from Adobe Typekit, is you get these things that are just really poorly tracked out and kerned, and you have to do stupid stuff like this. 1, 2, 3. Wait, no, I was only putting 1, 2 in there. Oh my god, I don't feel like... This is so not fun. I would rather be buying jeans right now. I feel like we've had multiple jeans conversations on this stream. You know what? Me editing a billing block is not going to be fun for anyone to watch. So, I think we've like reached the peak of funness of things that we can watch today. One thing that I'm gonna try to do real quick that I used to do is we gotta turn off the... So we'll turn off the type and we'll turn off the grain. And this was just like a little like stylistic trick But you take everything, Command A, copy all the layers that are selected, so Shift Command C, and then we can turn our type back on, and we paste it. We'll have to put the type above that layer. And then on this, you can just like, let's see, you can just try like putting it over like soft light, which that actually looks kind of nice. But you can try different blend modes, pen lights, and hard mix. Multiply. But what you can do is you can do, so we'll set it on normal and we'll make it a smart object. And then we can like apply like a blur filter to it. Sometimes this looks cool, sometimes it looks bad. You never know until you try it. So blur filter, and then you can change the blend mode, the layer blend mode to like soft light. And it can just give things like a little punch. Take the edge off of like, you know, some of these transitions. Yeah, it like kind of bumps the contrast up across the board, punches the saturation a little. Let's see. Yeah, I do high pass stuff, but I usually set it to overlay. So usually on like things that lack a little bit of crispness. So let's see. We'll convert this to a smart object again, and then filter other high pass. What's it look like in soft light? I've never done it in soft light. Yeah, let's see. Overlay. Boy, that really crunches it up here. We'll put all the effects on it. Could not export the clipboard because it is too big to export. Sure, I accept that. I don't think the type is saturated enough to match everything. Oh, Photoshop is saving. This file is getting kind of large. Wait for it to save. Okay, so should the type match? I think it should, because it looks a little dull. Open Illustrator. Oh gosh, canoeing tonight and then nothing all weekend. Probably playing some Dota cooperative campaign stuff. Seems pretty okay. It's weird that it opens Illustrator in my other window. Okay, these are clearly not the same color. Oh, is this Illustrator document and RGB. Yeah, it is. Why does it look different? Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm canoeing tonight. Cross a few lakes. I want to organize a bigger canoeing trip with. Let's see, that might be too dark. A bigger canoeing trip. I actually don't like that. A bigger canoeing trip from Lake Minnehaha up north, and you go all the way down Minnehaha Creek. I think it's like nautical. It's like 24 miles, and you canoe back down into the city because Minnehaha Creek runs through the city. And it was a super fun trip when we did it last year. It took about 9.5 hours, so maybe if it took less hours this year, that would be neat. But I don't know. Maybe I like Kathmandu as a cool color better, just because it's not then competing with Adam, the actor here. Yeah, and you just make sure you pack a bunch of beer on the trip, and you just canoe all day and drink. And then there's one point, there's like a little dock area, and you dock up and you all get out of the boat, and there's like a Taco Bell. It's like, I don't know, we use metrics or imperial measurements here. It's like 100 meters from the creek. And so you get out and you go eat Taco Bell lunch in the middle of the day, and then you get back and you keep canoeing. It's pretty good. If only it had a canoe up window. So the Taco Bell, they actually, my understanding is that it used to be closer to the creek, and then they changed it. They like tore it down and built a new one that's a little further away from the creek. But man, yeah, canoe window and the Taco Bell would just be lovely. All right, everyone. So I think that's it for today's Strem. Pretty happy with where this poster is at. Got the nice hard crop at the bottom, like similar to like like a lot of 70s posters, like What's that one? The scary movie one with a baby. Rosemary's Baby. The scary 70s baby poster. Yeah, you see here. I don't think the actual poster has a border. I think that is an incorrect thing. Yeah. This is a very low res version of that poster. But yeah, those hard cuts back in the day, pretty nice. So yeah, 5 guys after a hike. Now you're talking. I think you're being facetious, but now you're talking my language. This item isn't directly editable in Photoshop. I didn't even click anything. I don't know what you're yelling at me for. So that's going to be it for today. Like I said, I'm going to be in LA at E3 next week, so there will be no streams next week, sadly. But after that, we will continue our regularly scheduled stream schedule. But yeah, so next week's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna go to E3. Gonna get to photograph the booth that we all made together. We made it together, everyone. And that's gonna be fun. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I guess I'll see you all in a bit. I will also take pictures of the Nintendo booth. I don't know that Jester, I think you're probably right. Um, but yeah, I'll take photos of the Nintendo booth. Sure, why not? I have an exhibitor's pass. I have the golden ticket. I get in before everyone else. I can stay in later than everyone else. There's like something like that at Disney World too, but I got it. All right, everyone. It's always sad saying bye when I won't see you again for a while, but alas, we must. So thanks everyone for hanging out. Bam! Have an awesome weekend. Do cool shit. Don't do cool shit. Whatever shit you want to do, you know? It's all up to you. You have the power. So thanks everyone, and I will see you back here in a week or so. Bye.